Hi guys, I'm back. After almost a month of not posting a video, I finally am able to post an update. And as you can see, I am back in sunny California. Although from what I hear, it's sunny pretty much everywhere right now and Europe is having a heat wave. So it doesn't really matter as far as the weather. But anyway, I'm back here. I made it back. In my last video, I was in Poland celebrating my 40th birthday. And I was really fretting about coming back to the States because the kind of visa that I have only allows me to be here 6 months at a time, which is pretty good. It's better than a British passport. If you have a British passport, you can be here 3 months at a time. So you kind of have to leave every 3 months and then come back. On the kind of visa that I have, it's the same principle, but it's every 6 months. So I only have to leave twice a year, and I can stay here a whole year, which is good. But it's a very limited visa because it doesn't allow me to work. So I have to be really creative with money. I have to work like for UK companies online. I can't technically work in America. So it's been a challenge as far as money, but I'm managing so far. That's a separate topic. Anyway, I'm here and I'm so happy. I want to talk about just a brief description of my journey. I was really fretting about getting back. I was fretting that the immigration was going to give me a hard time and they were going to question me about why I'm coming back for another 6 months. You know, you hear all these stories that it's tough to get in, but you know what? I think if you do it legally, if you do everything legally, it's not actually that tough. I had the nicest guy as an immigration officer. He was this really cool black guy, and he was joking with me. He just asked me like 2 questions, and the rest was just kind of banter. And he said, "Have a great time." And I said, "I wish I could do what you're doing. Just, you know, taking time out to do what you want to do with your life." And I said, "Well, you know, I'm trying. We only get one life, so we should really try to do what makes us happy." And that's what I'm doing. I've always wanted to live in the States. It's been my dream since I was 8. And I lived here previously several times. I lived here as a teenager for a little bit, then in my early 20s, and now I'm back, bitch. I'm back in the States, and I love it here. I feel like it's one of these places that has felt like home ever since I can remember, before I even moved here. And I was fostered by an American family, and maybe that had something to do with it. But I felt that this was home before I even moved here, if that makes sense. And when I first came here in the late 90s, I felt like I came to the promised land. I just wanted to get on my knees and cry. I was so happy. So being in America, for me, is so important, and it's so vital to my happiness. And this is the only place where I really feel at home. And I've lived in several countries. Anyway, so I had a long journey back. I left Poland at 6 in the morning, and then I had to fly to Luton Airport, which is a shitty airport, and it's actually being done in a little nicely now. They're remodeling it. So I flew to Luton, then I had to catch a bus from Luton Airport to go to Heathrow. I had to catch a plane in Heathrow to get me to Houston, Texas. In Houston, Texas, I stood in line for immigration. There were 2 lines. There was a line for U.S. citizens and permanent residents, and a separate line for short-term visa holders like myself. So I stood in the other line with a bunch of people from Honduras and mostly other Latin American countries. Tried to have a brief conversation with the guy next to me. I was just curious about what kind of visa he had. And even though he spoke good English, he wasn't really too talkative, and he didn't really talk to me. So I'm like, okay, that's fine, dude. Anyway, as I said, I had a very easy experience being let through. And I barely caught my connecting flight to LA, and I got to LA, and I took Tesloop from the airport to my hometown. So a little bit about the Tesloop from the airport. If you take the Tesloop from LAX, it's a really great way to get from LAX to the surrounding areas, surrounding towns, and I think that includes Palm Springs, San Diego, and everything else on the way, and then the surrounding area. Just Google it. But Tesloop is basically an SUV made by Tesla, so it doesn't use gas, it's all electric. It's a great experience. It costs about $60-70 depending on when you book it. It only takes 3 passengers. You're allowed 1 big bag and 1 small bag. It's very informative. You get a little drink and a little snack. The only thing about it that I found pretentious was that the drivers, they refer to themselves as pilots. And in my feedback, I said, you know what? Unless this Tesla can tuck its wheels under its body and fly me to Palm Springs, honey, you're not a pilot. You're just a driver. But you know what? They're good drivers. They're great guys. They engage with you. They talk to you. But if they sense that you don't want to talk, they kind of leave you alone as well. So my driver was really nice. So anyway, I got home like at 1 in the morning. I was so tired. I got home at 1 in the morning. I was so tired, but so happy to be back where it was home for me. So yeah, so I've been here for like 3 weeks now. I haven't really had time to do an update. This is my update up in... Hi. So what have I been doing? Well, I've been exploring different opportunities. I've also been going on a lot of dates, and this is kind of the funny part. I've had so many dates. It's like, since I left, there's so many new guys in town and so many guys that I haven't seen before, so I've been pretty busy, and it's been a good experience. I've met some really nice guys already. I'm kind of in between dating 2 different people now, and it's nothing serious. I'm not being exclusive yet, so we'll see where it happens. We'll see where it takes me. I should make some videos about that. I have like one secret to tell everyone, but I should make a video about that. It's really hot out here. It's been about like 115 degrees every day, which is about 45 Celsius, maybe 47. I'm sure it's reached 50 at least once. So it's really hot. I've been swimming a lot. What you do is just you go in the pool to keep cool, or you work inside an air-conditioned space. I like the heat though. It doesn't really bother me. Look, I'm not really sweating that much. And right now it's probably about 40 degrees Celsius. And I'm perfectly comfortable with that. I don't get sweaty. Look, there's fruit trees here. I think these are lemons. Oh look, it just came off like that. I think it's a lime. I'll try it at home. But there are fruit trees here everywhere. This is California for you. You can get like grapefruit. They just grow in public spaces. I think this is a grapefruit tree. They're green now. They get ripe in like December. There you go. Hear that noise? What are these things? I think they're like cicadas or something. So today I went to the DMV, which is the Department of Motor Vehicles, and I got my California driving license. And the license will come in the mail in about, they said, between 2 and 3 weeks. And I had a California driving license before, but it was a temporary one, and they were still waiting for some paperwork from me, and I never got the little, plastic license, which is the cool part. But they said this is definitely coming in the mail now, so I'm gonna get it soon. Up until now, I've been driving on my British license. So my biggest challenge right now is to change my status to a more permanent status, because I'm here still as a visitor, and because I might want to stay here, I have to either get a job that will sponsor me, or I could do I have to get a job that will sponsor me, and that's proven harder than I thought. I went to one job fair in Los Angeles, and it was such a disappointing experience. There was like 15 tables, and the people who were there were from really dodgy companies, mostly wanting you to work for them as a commissioned salesperson, not even a salary job. And the ones that were offered salary jobs were really weird jobs, like pest control or like highly skilled tech stuff that I can't do. So it's been difficult for me to try to get a banking job. I've been trying to network and speak to some people who work in banking, and they said that banks aren't hiring right now in the valley where I live. So, and every time I fill out an application online for a banking job, there's always a box that says, you know, do you have a green card? And I have to tick no. And I feel like the moment HR sees that I don't have a green card, they don't even want to look at me. They don't want to consider my application. So it really has to be done via knowing someone who works in the industry, who has the power to hire you, who can pull some strings. I think like that's going to be the only way that I'll be able to get a job. Or I can just get married. Woo! Or I can just get married.